Hi guys, welcome back. So today's just a quick one. I'm just going to shoot through a couple of questions that people have sent me to help them explore the guitar a little bit further. So let's check it out. So the first question is about learning to sing whilst playing the guitar. So putting the two elements together. Obviously this is going to be very brief, but hopefully it will help get you started on the right track. So this particular person was hoping to be able to sing lullabies for her children. So my suggestion, I'm going to use Twinkle Twinkle Little Star as an example because I think all of us know that song, don't we? Or at least how the basic melody goes. So what you can start with is, if you already know your chord shapes on the guitar, you'll be able to find tablature online, but for my ear, I'm going to use C, F and G. So you can start with single notes. But I'm going to presume that you already know how to play chords, and that's why you want to be able to put the two elements together of the voice and the chords. So you start obviously by taking things really stripped back and simple, so just single strums at the beginning of each bar, just to get your brain to lock in with your hand without having to worry too much about technique. So for example, twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. So you're just strumming that one note at the beginning, and that means that if you need to do pauses in between while you get your chord shapes, you can. Like you can be really awkward, like twinkle, twinkle, little star. You know, it just gives you time to work out those chord changes, because I'm not sure where you're at, if you're able to do those fluent changes yet, or yeah. Sometimes you can do it fluently, but when you start to bring in that different element of trying to sing at the same time, your brain has a complete meltdown. Mine still does. Like sometimes I'll have a really funky riff that I want to be able to sing over the top of, and my brain just goes like, can't do it. And it just takes me breaking it down into individual little components for me to get a sense of a pattern and where I need to lock in which words, which points of the melody. So once you go from there, like you can bring in the strumming a bit more, maybe, or you just gradually want to make it a bit more complicated. So ultimately for this kind of thing, you probably want to get to a little bit of picking maybe. So you would eventually twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are, up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky. Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. You can tell that's not a song that I play very often because I kept losing which chord I was meant to be at. But that's one of the things about singing along with it, is sometimes it actually helps you because you know the melody of the song when you're singing it. And you'll know if you're on the wrong note of the guitar. So if I was to start twinkle, you know I'm in the wrong spot. I'm like, oh, well, I don't start on the F chord because that sounds wrong. Do I start on the G chord? Twinkle, no, that doesn't sound right. Twinkle, there we go. That's, that helps you kind of lock in as well. So yeah, basically start simple and make it progressively harder. You can start with single finger, then go to your chords, single strums, and then eventually, I promise you, with a lot of practice, you will be able to lock in singing along with playing guitar at the same time. Now, if this hasn't answered your question and there was something more specific about singing with guitar that's troubling you, then please comment below, or you can even private message me if you prefer not to have it public, and I can do a follow-up video to try to help you out. And yeah, because everyone should just be having a go and having fun with it.
Twinkle, twinkle, little star, how I wonder what you are. Up above the world so high, like a diamond in the sky.
So the next question I got asked was how to get started with slide guitar. Now, obviously that, learning slide guitar in depth is a lengthy process. I'm still learning, and in fact, after my very first slide guitar lesson a couple of years ago, I'm now going back and trying to unlearn the bad habits that I have created, which make for not such clean slide playing. I originally picked up the slide and had a go because I went to a workshop when I was in high school here at the Blues at Bridgetown Festival with Bob Brosman. And from that I thought it was a really cool sound, and I thought I would just buy a slide and teach myself how to play, which essentially is what you can do. But I'm just gonna hopefully give you a few pointers to help you get started. So first of all, you can choose which finger you want to learn to play slide on, and you can change that as you go. I used to actually wear it on the ring finger, and now I wear it on the pinky finger. You can get little half slides as well. There's all different shapes out there, and you might be more talking about the lap slide as well with the tone bars, which I don't have in arm's reach at the moment. I'm going to presume that you're talking about playing this kind of style, and similar principles apply anyway. But yeah, if I'm wrong and you wanted to learn more about like the lap slide style, then give me a message either down below in the comments, or you can private message me if you prefer, and I will do a follow-up video to try to help you on your way with that. So one of the things that you might have noticed is this guitar, which I play a lot of slide in, is in an open tuning. So that means when I strum it open, it is already a chord. It's a little bit out of tune, so just let me pause while I fix that. So one of the things that you'll find a little bit easier is if your guitar is in an open tuning. It doesn't have to be, but because I want to be sliding multiple strings, this is just part of my sound. My fuller sound as a solo artist is to play open tunings, because when I strum those strings, it's already a chord in itself. So I can play multiple notes, and it's a lot fatter tone than if I was just doing single string, which you can do in your standard tuning. So this particular guitar is tuned to an open C sharp modified. So C sharp, G sharp, C sharp, G sharp, C sharp, and F. Just if you wanted to tune yours the same. So one of the points about slide playing is you need to block behind your slide. So you need to have a finger resting on the back side of the slide to prevent the extra string noise. So you'll hear if I don't mute behind it, it's quite noisy. So that helps all kind of like the little undertones that are traveled before. I mean, that is a technique. You can open it up and, there's all sorts of fun things that you can muck around with. But essentially, make sure you've got that rested. Some people can really stabilize with the finger on top as well. I'm not super flexible, so you'll catch me most of the time just playing like this. So I'll just rest this finger predominantly, but maybe these ones there, and so you will hear there that I went a little bit sharp. So my next little pointer is that when you're playing, you're pretty much playing on top of the fret, but you will be able to hear when you're a little bit sharp and when you're a little bit flat, and I still get this all the time. I'll be playing live and I'll be like, oh my God, that was too sharp, I can't change it now. So for example, if I'm going to slide up to the 5th fret here, see, on the 5th fret, that sounds in tune. If I slide just above it, you hear it's just that little bit sharp. Slide just below it. Feels like I didn't quite get there and it's not satisfying, you know? So you're just aiming to really... And that's an exercise that I still do, is just sliding up to a note, so as I can get my ear tuned into locking into that note, that end destination that I'm looking for. So those are probably my 2 most key points to get you started. That's probably enough to get you started, because it will take you a fair while for that to feel like any sort of normality. Don't press down with your slide. You're just literally resting it on top of the strings. If you press down, you get that fret noise underneath, and you can also sound sharp or flat and change the tonal quality. So, not. See, I press down then and it just sounds, yeah. So you're literally just resting it on top, blocking behind and sliding up to that note. Now if you want to take it a little bit further, this is something that even I'm still trying to perfect the technique. I used to be quite a rapid vibrato, thinking that would get the most out of the note, you know. And I mean, sometimes you do want that sound, so you want that sense of urgency and hysterics, I guess. But essentially, if you're looking for the sustain, it's just a slow little wobble. And you don't really want to go too far either side of the fret, or it will sound sharp and flat again. So if I go too far, and it will also just lose its sustain. So slide, I've actually learned, you know, if you look at my early clips, I'm quite aggressive with how I play it. I still am, because I do get carried away in the energy of live music. However, I have learnt that slide, when done at its best, is actually very controlled and gentle. Control is probably the biggest key to slide playing, and like I said, I'm still learning it, but you guys asked me this question and I'm just trying to help you get started. So I sure hope that that's given you enough to get started. Again, it doesn't really actually matter what slide you're starting with, if it's glass, steel, brass, just whatever you've got to get started. But I will put a link in the comments below, link in the description below to a video where I discuss the slides that I do use and why. And hopefully that might help you get a better selection of which slide is going to suit you, and to get one that fits properly, because it should be secure on your finger but not tight, and you don't want it to go flying off either. But as I mentioned in the other video that I'll link to, some people actually find it very comfortable to have a big slide and they just curl their finger inside to lock it on. I'm not that talented, so that's not what I do. But yeah, I hope that little snippet of information helps to get you started. Comment below, let me know if it's actually helpful or if there's something else that you need to know. And yeah, I hope you guys have enjoyed this short little video. And yeah, I'll see you next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Thanks guys, see ya!